I had a CEO say something to me recently that I've heard in some form from almost every CEO I've ever worked with. And he said, Vijay, I have a team of experienced, capable people. And these are not junior people. They are not new either. They have been doing this for years. So why do they wait to be told? Why do they not just lead? And I said something that made him go quiet. I said, they do not wait to be told because they cannot lead. They wait to be told because your system trained them to. Now, that was not easy for him to hear because it meant the problem was not sitting in his team. It was actually sitting in the system he built around them. And that system started with him. Now, what I want to do is today, I want to walk you through 3 revelations about why capable people stop taking initiatives. Each one goes deeper than the last. And by the end, I think you will see your leadership team in a complete different light. So the first revelation is, which is the most straightforward, your team waits because the system taught them to wait. And I want you to think about what happens when a leader in your business makes a decision independently. In many leadership teams, one of the 3 things occurs. The CEO questions the decision after the fact. Why did you not run that past me first? The CEO overrides the decision publicly. Actually, I think we should go a different direction. Or the CEO simply redoes the work quietly, sending the message that the original decision was actually not good enough. And each one of these moments teaches the same lesson. Deciding alone is risky. Waiting for the CEO is safe. And it only takes 2 or 3 of these moments for an intelligent leader to recalibrate their behavior permanently. And they stop deciding. They start checking. And within months, the CEO is wondering why nobody is taking initiative when the system has been systematically removing the incentive to do so. Now, this is not a character flaw in your team. This is classical conditioning. You actually train them, not deliberately, not maliciously either, but the system trained them. And now the system needs to untrain them. The second revelation goes a bit deeper, and it borrows a concept from psychology that I think every CEO needs to understand. There is a phenomenon called learned helplessness. It was first observed in research where subjects were placed in situations where the actions had no effect on the outcome. They could act or not act, and the result was the same. Over time, they stopped acting entirely. Even when the situation changed and their actions could have made a difference, they had learned that action was pointless. So they did nothing. Now your leadership team can develop that particular same condition. When a leader brings an idea and it goes nowhere, when they raise a concern and it is acknowledged but never really addressed, when they set a goal and it is quietly abandoned without consequence, when they make a commitment and nobody tracks whether it was delivered, they learn that their actions do not change the outcome. The system does not respond to their effort. So they stop putting in effort. Not visibly. They still attend meetings. They still send emails. They still look busy. But the discretionary effort, the initiative, the leadership that has been extinguished by a system that taught them it does not matter. So I want you to remember this. The system you ignore will become the system that defines you. Now, learned helplessness in a leadership team is devastating Because from the outside, the team looks functional. They are present, they are compliant, but they have checked out internally. And the CEO cannot understand why a room full of talented people produces so little. And the third revelation is the most deepest and actually the most uncomfortable. In many leadership teams, the consequences are inverted. The system punishes the behavior it should reward and rewards the behavior it should punish. And I want you to think about this. A leader who takes initiative, makes a bold decision, and it does not work perfectly, what's going to happen? They get questioned, they get second guessed, and in some cases they get publicly corrected. The consequence of acting is risk. Now, think about a leader who does nothing, who waits, who defers every decision to the CEO, who never sticks their neck out. What's going to happen? Nothing, no negative consequence. In fact, they're often seen as reliable because they never make mistakes. The consequence of inaction is safety. Now, when initiative is punished and passivity is rewarded, what do you think intelligent people are going to choose? They are going to choose safety every time. Not because they are weak, because they are rational. The system has made passivity the logical choice. Now, to fix this, you have to invert the consequences back. Initiative must be visibly rewarded, even when the outcome may be imperfect. Passivity must be visibly addressed. A leader who waits for permission when they had the authority to act must be asked, why did you wait? The question asked consistently is going to rewire the system faster than any training program ever could. Now, accountability is not about catching people. It is actually about freeing them. And so here's a challenge I want to set for you this week. And it takes only 5 minutes, but it will reveal more about your leadership system than any assessment you might have had. Pick one decision that normally comes to you for approval, something within the 5,000 to 20,000 pounds range. If you are a 3 million pound business, something that one of your leaders should be able to handle. Now, go to that particular leader. Tell them this decision is yours. Here are the boundaries. Here is the budget. I trust your judgment. Make the call and tell me what you decided afterwards. Then watch what happens. If they make the decision confidently and quickly, your system has more capacity than you realized. You have been holding on to something you did not need to hold. Now, if they hesitate, if they come back and ask, are you sure? If they make the decision but then check with you anyway, your system has trained them to wait. That is the signal that the architecture needs rebuilding. Now, either outcome is valuable. One is going to tell you the system works. The other tells you exactly where to start fixing it. And your team is not waiting because they cannot lead. They're waiting because the system taught them that leading is risky and waiting is safe. The moment you change the system, the leadership is going to follow. Now, if you want to test how deep this goes in your business, then I have this CEO scorecard which tests the governance architecture and cultural integrity dimensions where this pattern lives. Only 5 questions, 60 seconds, free. What I'll do is I'll leave the link in the description below. Or if you want, you can take the CAP Unlock questionnaire at vijay.com. 12 questions, 3 minutes. I personally review every response. I'll also leave a link below. So, my dear friends, I'm Vijay Mistri. Clarity first, impact fast. I'll see you in the next one.